And there is some cheer ahead of Union Budget 2022. Sensex has soared 800 points on opening bell and it nears 58,700 points, while Nifty was up 120 points, nearing 17,500. So markets have opened on a positive note ahead of Union Budget. There is a sense of a cheer on the Dalal Street ahead of Union Budget. In fact, just to talk through the numbers that are coming in right now, Sensex has soared 800 points on opening bell and is nearing 58,700 points. While if we talk about Nifty, it is up by 120 points and it is nearing 17,500. So good news for the investors, and also it kind of reflects the optimism the markets and the shareholders have from the Union Budget, and of course that creates an extra pressure on Nirmala Sitharaman, the finance minister, whether the budget is going to going to prove all these expectations and all these hopes right. And for now, this is the situation in the markets where Sensex has soared ahead of Union Budget. It is up 800 points on opening bell and Nifty is up by 120 points. In fact, Shweta is also joining us from Bombay Stock Exchange. Shweta, on every budget day, the movement of markets is very, very keenly watched because it is kind of, interpreted and linked to the sentiments and reaction to the budget. And looks like there is a lot of optimism there.
Well, absolutely. It does look like that. Yes, there is a lot of optimism there, and very correctly you have talked about the Sensex and Nifty. Nifty has opened with 120 points. To talk more on this, we are joined by market experts, and AP Shukla ji will talk more on this. Sir, opening has been strong. What do you have to say on this?
Yesterday, economic survey has shown a very good sign, and India is going to sign again and again. And we are far ahead than China, who was the symbolic for the whole world. Now we are surpasses China in all sectors. So market is showing strength on that. Economic survey is showing the good sign in current year. So these are the expectation of the market, and the market is open on the positive note. Very good, 682 point something up presently. And we are looking, if budget is okay, then again it will go up and up.
Absolutely. And what does the day entirely hold us for today, and specifically talking about the market?
Whole day would be volatile.
Yeah.
But end of day, if budget is okay, market will be close on the positive note.
So lastly, we see that pre and post budget, there is so many changes which takes place very actively. It happens. So what about today, sir?
That is the market nature, and after the budget, market will analyze where what we have got, what we have lost. So after the budget, there would be proper analysis. And immediately, it's not correct to analyze immediately. We have to go in deep and we have to analyze all the things as usual happen every year. So market is going to react after the budget.
Right. So if we speak sector-wise, even Siddharth ji is also here. He will also join us. Talking about sector-wise, if pharmaceuticals are a thing which we are all looking forward for after a backlash from COVID since past 2 years, we are seeing also the recovery. Pharmaceuticals to infrastructure, what the budget can hold us?
Definitely infra will gain more allocation in this year, and pharma will also. Because it's a need of our COVID pandemic is going on. Next wave is expected in March, April. So that is the expectation of doctor. But we are hoping in this time, this is not so effective. So we are looking, but more fund allocation from the finance ministry. And I think the spending is going to increase in health sector. So there should be more allocation.
Allocation on health sector. Siddharth, sir, what do you have to say when it comes to sector-wise budget allocation?
I think from the time Modi government has come, their whole insistence and I would say concentration is on infrastructure. And this year, I think they will strengthen domestic institution and even attract foreign investors, give them some lucrative incentives, and that will help to give funding to the projects, and that it will become reality, and it will help for the growth, employment, and overall growth of the economy.
Any positive news for home buyers or from the sector of real estate?
Definitely, there is a less demand in the realty sector, particularly home buyers, because so many people have lost their employment in last 2 years. So government has to incentivize that sector to boost the sales, and because there was a lot of NPA in that sector, now it's recovered by banks due to some movement in that side. And in Mumbai particularly, there was a lot of sale due to the taxes incentivized by the Maharashtra government, Bengal government, some other government Delhi government has incentivized for the stamp duty and others. So we are looking this support will continue to the realty sector from the government side.
Right, Siddharth, I want to come back to you also on this note. When we are speaking about this union budget, there's also, we're celebrating 75th Amrit Mahotsav. We are also on the LPG and 5 years completion. So overall, if we see plus the elections in 5 states, this union budget is going to be very crucial. What are the things meant for middle class this time? Because at the end of the day, what we find out after the speech of FM is not so great things are meant for middle class. So this time, is there any ray of changes, hopes for any kind of changes?
I do expect some announcement should come. They should raise the limit of ATC, PPF, even standard deduction, and especially senior citizens.
Right.
Their livelihood is totally dependent on interest income. I think their income should be totally tax out of the tax net. And even we talk about COVID, lot of people have suffered, and many people cannot afford insurance because premium of insurance is high like anything. And even GST is 18%. Both needs to be rationalized. And the flagship program of government, the Ayushman Bharat, should cover even the middle class. And I hope something is announced in the budget.
What about salaried class? When we speak about middle class, obviously we do think about the taxpayer, we do think about the salaried section people.
We are looking the ATC limit should be increased 1.5 to at least 2 lakhs or more than that it should be. So that would be the big relief to the employees.
Do you reciprocate with him, or you have anything further to add more for the salary section?
Even the salaried section who has, paid money for COVID, they should get benefit of tax relaxation on that.
Right.
Some kind of incentives, where they can save and again spend. Because the need of the hour is growth, and that will happen only if the demand increases. So to increase the demand, somewhere the income level has to go up and savings has to go up.
Right. So this is what we have heard from the market experts stating that, yes, this is the need of an hour for the growth. And likewise, there are high hopes and expectations from this union budget. And of course, Nirmala Sitharaman will be addressing some of the very crucial points what we all are ears for.
Thank you so much for getting us all those voices from the markets. And let me go across to our correspondent Mugilan now who is joining us live from the city of Chennai. And Mugilan, good morning. I'm being told that you are with few startups, entrepreneurs, and this is one group which always has very, very specific and curated wish list every year from the budget. What do they want to say ahead of this very crucial budget?
Definitely, the hopes are high because now we are seeing as the market is bouncing back, even the startups have high hopes on the union government. They feel that there will be enough push for their sector, for the funds to flow in, for the startup sector to bounce back. And we are joined by Manish, who owns Candy Factory. So what is your expectation, sir? Because last 3 years. Since 2020, it was a rough patch. How have you bounced back from that? And what is your expectations in the budget this year?
Okay, so the last 2 years has been challenging, of course, but with the online e-commerce, a greater penetration and consumers gravitating towards online portals, I think our business has done well. Having said that, we have also been supported by the various central government schemes and the state government schemes as an MSME and as a recognized startup. However, there are a scope for improvement. And I think I would like to take this opportunity to probably touch upon a few things which can be improved. The schemes are very many, and they are great schemes. But however, as a startup, as a founding team, we are sometimes not aware of the great schemes what the central government and the state government have. So it would be nice, or it will be very helpful for startups such as ours and other people that if, say, suppose like a relationship manager in a bank who can inform and educate their bank customers about their FDs, insurance policies, mutual funds, and so many other financial products. If such a person, like a relationship manager, be assigned to a recognized startup, say suppose 20, 30 startups can be linked onto a relationship, let us say a relationship for a relationship manager of a startup. That particular person can give the necessary inputs, the necessary guidance for the startups to avail of those particular schemes which are available. Today, it is not about the schemes as such. It is about distribution of the schemes and to the grassroots level for the founders and the entrepreneurs to take advantage of these schemes. So I think there a lot of work needs to be done. And
Anusha, what is your immediately what you're looking up? Because when we spoke with several other startups, they speak about the inflow of funds. They say there should be long-term exemption from the capital gain. So what is your immediate expectation for in these aspects?
So, with regards to capital gains, I'm not going to comment much about that, but I have expectations with regards to logistics, ease of doing business, where we move our goods from one point to another. So, we would like to supply to all over India. We do get orders on various online platforms. So where the government can help us is probably bring out a scheme wherein, they tie up railways and postal department. Transporting goods from railways is very easy. I have experienced that. At the same time, from our location to the railways and then to the end customer, the structure is already in place by the government. So if they can do something, have some way in the budget to improve this and make it easy for startups at a nominal fee, then that will really, give the economy a boost, the startups a boost, and very many things. So that is my expectation from the government.
Manish, I want to take this question to you regarding funding, because funding is something vital for any startup.
Absolutely.
Like in that aspect, what is your expectation?
Okay, so funding can be two ways. One is equity, one is debt. Now, equity, we'll have to go to, angel networks, micro VCs, and so many other areas, right? Debt is also available for funding startups. But what happens is at the ground level, banks they look at startups at a traditional angle, like an MSME. So I think that perspective needs to change. They have to look at more revenue-based financing, those kind of models, which are not prevalent in the, from my personal experience, in the public sector banks and the banking institutions in general. So I think if we can have a gradation system, like an MSME, you have A, B, C. If you can have a gradation system for startups, recognized startups, you can grade them like a 5-star, 1-star, 2-star, 3-star. And, grade them on different angles, quality of team, quality of product, idea, quality of investor backing them, and, so many other parameters, and give them these stars. So when they go to a banking institution, they can, they can show this startup recognition plus the star rating. So they will also be comfortable and also look at startups at a different angle. Don't look at only because of profitability. Profitability will come. But when we look at a startup, we need to look at the growth prospect of the startup, how much of employment they can generate.
What do you expect government to do in this aspect?
I think they need to give a specific focus, not just like MSME. I want them to give a specific focus on funding for startups as such, because there is a haze between MSME and startups in the banking circle at the ground level. So I think a clear demarcation between MSME and recognized startups. So that will give a good boost to the to us as startups.
One last question: How is the consumer behavior? Because post pandemic, has the consumers' behavior changed when it comes to procuring product?
Okay, so most consumers now, many of them, I would say, they either shop from online. Many of them who did not know how to shop products from online have actually moved online. And they shop from the nearby stores. So that micro shopping, probably I can call it. So that is the change. It is shifted from going to malls, allocating 1/2 a day in big supermarkets and shopping, to online convenience, because people are afraid to step out. That fear has been there. I hope now soon it will go away and our economy just rushes up and up.
So that is what we could hear from the startup. They say that there should be a clear demarcation from MSME to startups, and they also say that there will be structural changes in the entire system for the startups to flourish, and that is the expectations what they have in this union budget.
That's right, Mugilan, thank you so much for getting us all those voices from the city of Chennai, and our special budget coverage continues on Mirror Now, but for now we are slipping into a very short breather.